Happy October 4th. Happy, happy, happy October 4th. Happy, 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 happy. Sammy, why don't you go lay down? Go lay down. Go ahead. No, go lay down. All right, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Ah, you can't go that way. Just go. Oh, my God. This cat. Cats. Cats, cats, cats. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Oh, actually, am I? Oh, okay, I am. Never mind. Never mind. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's October 4th. I've gotten a total of 4 hours of sleep. Good morning, Neil. How are you? Bonjour. Oops. Okay, what are we doing? Are we gonna? Oh, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight under the covers. Hi, easily distracted. How are you? We're gonna have a major cat battle under the covers. I just want you to know this is gonna get ugly. Paws will be thrown. Today's gonna be an easy breezy day because mommy is tired. I'm so tired. I'm so very tired. I mean, not tired, like body tired. I mean, I'm a little tired, but that'll pass. I have to go. I have to get my coffee beans in a minute, too. So let me see when. Ran out of coffee this morning. So that's 6 minutes away. Oh, you picked up your new crown. Yay. Happy Friday. Good morning. Good morning, gal. Watch the Tina Peters sentencing. Oh, that judge, he was so good. We need a transcript. I need to get a transcript of his closing statement. Yeah, she is in jail. She's waking up in jail this morning. She's not happy about it. I'm really happy about it. Finally some justice. This may be some of the best, well, not best. Hi, Peace Love. This might be some of the juiciest justice we've gotten, and maybe we'll get more. I know. He was so amazing. I mean, he really understood the implications. Oh, gal, thanks. You don't have to do that. Yeah, he really nailed it. You know, I kind of wish though that who has the commissary list? Slow speed. I know. Is she gonna enjoy the ramen? I mean, I love ramen, so I'd be with cup of noodles. I could live off of cup of noodles. I definitely could live off of cup of noodles. But I'll tell you what they don't have. They don't have like fancy hair color. They don't have Sephora. I'm going to tell you what this woman does because I probably know what she does. I love ramen. I would totally fucking eat that 3 times a day. I have no problem with that. So that is not a hardship. The bed, not a hardship. It's a bed. It's a bed. You know, as someone, Clay Parikh. Yeah, wait, Clay Parikh, let me show you his. He was really upset. Joe Altman's really upset, gal. Joel Altman is making threats. I just tagged Clayberg in a tweet someone shared with me. I regret to inform Tina Peters that I have copyrighted the following euphemisms for toilet wine: Pipino Grigio, porcelain plonk, water closet white. Neil, those win. Wait, I need to take a picture of that. Hold on. Neil, you win, okay? You have actually copyrighted these. And I'm gonna go over some stories and my bookmarks. It's a pretty low key wake and bake. No, I don't see any live events unless somebody has information otherwise. She could probably get some magnets, slow speed, out of the commissary and put them under her bed. I mean, what's the difference? What's the difference? You learn all kinds of ramen hacks. Yeah, I would imagine you could do a lot with ramen. I mean, really. Little lemon. Yeah, I love lemons for Friday. Don't go to the show by. That's our lemon girl. She is our cinnamon girl. She's our lemon and cinnamon girl. I always think of that when I think of her now. I always sing that little song. I think I made it up, but I don't think that's the song. She's our lemon and cinnamon girl. Boy, I wish she was there for Tina. Fuck. Man, that would have been great. Oh, that cracked me up. The Sky Fairies. Don't go to the show by would often. I think she did often. I actually think this was not an uncommon saying for her, but a tweet came up that we saw that where she had said something about, well, you can spend time hoping that your sky fairies, blah, blah, blah. It was the sickest burn. I loved it. She always referred to them as sky fairies. Yeah, I thought so because I feel like I've heard that. I want to live with my Leavenworth girl. Oh, Neil, you're making me laugh. Thank you. Thank you. Warning to those who think they can screw with elections. Gosh, I hope so. Gosh, I hope so. But you know what? Here's my little pissy moment. Everybody I see talking about it is talking about it like it's a joke. Like she's just a funny joke, which she is. I'm not disputing that. But I feel like people are missing the fucking point. Whatever. I'm not going to get into it. Just another one of the thousands of lives Trump and his gang have ruined. Yep, I watched an interview with Rudy Giuliani's daughter, and she is voting for Kamala because Trump destroyed her dad. Well, and yes, but also her father's greed destroyed him, right? Like, I think, Jim, that, it's just like I don't know. It's just, they destroy themselves. It's kind of, I mean, like they're driven by this kind of preservation of power and self. I mean, Rudy Giuliani, I saw him like in Washington D.C. once, and I saw him once in New York, or long time ago, and he is truly he lives for the spotlight. He fucking lives for it, and he lives for being part of society, of high society. It's crazy. Let me check what you sent, gal. Oh, this is great. New America. I'm going to follow them. Let me show that. We'll get rid of the fighting cat cam. Let's see. Okay. Oops. There. What are you doing? Oh, okay. All right. This is shared by Gal. Also, a few other good ones. The organized, well-funded strategy behind non-citizen voting. I also have I have a few bookmarks. One is the ranking members, Raskin and Thompson, that complaint that they lodged against the IG. So I want to read that. I want to read a little bit about Trump media execs ousted for the Trump's Truth Social. America's mayor is what destroyed. Yeah, exactly. Oh, peace, love, such a good thing. Yeah, he really drank that Kool-Aid, didn't he? He really did. Or root. I know. Oh my God, Jim, I'm telling you right now. I am telling you right now. I saw him in Washington, D.C. in about 2013 or something like that, 2012, 2013. I saw him in Washington, D.C. He was getting out of a limousine in Georgetown going to a restaurant. And he really could. That was before Trump, right? I don't know what he was doing. He was probably doing something stupid. Actually, I just tagged the Gal Squad, I think yesterday, in something where he admitted that he went to China and to do business and shit about security. And did he register as a foreign agent when he did that? Because I'm confused. So I think unfortunately, I think Rudy is just one big fucking ball of crime. That's what I think. Yeah. All right. Well, this looks really good. So this is a tweet, and it's in the link. So Gal linked this tweet for us, and it's New America. My microphone. With the presidential election dominating news cycles, it might be easy to miss the 26 ballot initiatives that may reshape how Americans vote and how elections are administered. Damn. 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 Okay. I'm going to make this big. Big, 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 big. Big, big. Oops, I got to check my stuff. My delivery. What is this? Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, God, I got to go. I'll be right back. Sorry. My poor delivery guy. My poor delivery guy. Sorry. He had to wait like a minute and a half. I hate people waiting. Oh, I hate people waiting. He was a horrible mayor. I know. He was a horrible mayor. He did the stop and frisk. He was a terrible mayor. He was a terrible mayor. Yeah. Rudy learned how to be dirty when he took down the mods, and then American's mayor got him fame. You know what, though? I think there's a story, and I don't have the details, so I hesitate to share it. But I believe I heard that the relationship that Rudy developed with Russians is actually what helped him take down the Italian mobs. Time your breakfast. Yeah, exactly. That was funny, though. That was funny. Rudy worked for the other mob. Exactly. I feel like I heard, and I would need to check the details, so forgive me, but I believe that he did what he did with the Italian mob families because of his affiliations, or boosted by his affiliations with Russians. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I don't, it sounds very logical to me that that's what would happen because he's not that smart. Okay, I'm sorry. He's just not that brilliant a litigator. Sorry. And I had one sliver of experience working in New York City because every agency of New York City, like the Department of Education, is literally, of course he did, is literally fucking like political and insider, and it's always connections. Like literally, even at the DOE level, even at the Department of Education level in New York City, it's fucking political. I mean, people are fucking assholes. So I could very much see where you could get judges. I mean, I knew the girl who was just like investigated, Eric Adams' assistant, Ingrid. I know her. I know her. Like, so I know these people. She's fine. I really liked Ingrid. I don't know what she could be involved in. I hope she's not involved in anything, frankly, because I think she's one of the nicest, smartest people I've ever met. But maybe she is. I have no idea because that's the way New York can be. It can be very, very, well, it's very glad handy and very like connected and, you know, people who act like assholes are allowed to act like assholes because they're connected to someone else. You know what I mean? It literally goes down to the school level of all things. So New York City is its own animal, and it probably needs a big refresh, but it's not going to get it with all the current people, including Kathy Hochul. Uh-oh, what happened? Oklahoman. Oh, boy. There's too much news in the way. There's too much news in the way. Trump Bible. Oh, yeah. Okay, listen. I read about this yesterday a little bit. I didn't read it, but I heard about this. Yeah, they're doing something with Bibles in classrooms. It's the Trump Bible? What? First of all, what the fuck is a Bible doing in a classroom? Seriously. Seriously. Who is this guy? Who's that? Oh my God. Oklahoma State School Superintendent Ryan Walters? What? Superintendent Ryan Walters isn't just talking about buying Bibles for schools. Oh my God. Bids opened Monday for a contract to supply the State Department of Education with 55,000 Bibles. Why? Bye, peace, love. Have a good day. Why? Why? I used to not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance when I was a kid because our family was like super, like, whatever was happening. It was because like post-Vietnam War kind of stuff. I'm like, what? Okay, whatever. Okay. According to the bid documents, vendors must meet certain specifications. Bibles must be the King James Version, must contain the Old and New Testaments, must include copies of the Pledge of Allegiance, Declaration of Independence, U.S. Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Well, how specific? How fucking specific? Oh, was she? Your sister-in-law was in charge of math curriculum for NYC Public Schools? Ah, so interesting. I don't really want to know where she worked because doxing, but I would be so interested to find out who she was if I knew her. I don't know that many people in the DOE, but I know some. I know a lot of people in facilities because I used to complain all the time. Part of the grift. Oklahoma spends taxpayer money on Bibles and the money goes... I don't understand this. I'm not sure I understand. I'm not sure. So our kids are paying Trump? Oh my God. I need a coffee. had to get coffee because I ran out of beans. Yeah. Gee, I wonder which edition has all of those components. Let's see. Which one could possibly have all those components in one book? Must be bound in leather or leather-like material. A salesperson at Mardel Christian Education searched, and though they carry 2,000 Bibles, none fit the parameters. What? But one Bible fits perfectly. Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA Bible, endorsed by former President Donald Trump and commonly referred to as the Trump Bible. They cost $60 each online, with Trump receiving fees for his endorsement. Mardel doesn't carry the God Bless the USA Bible or another Bible that could meet the specifications. The We the People Bible, which was also endorsed by Trump. It sells for $90. Okay. The RFP on its face seems fair, but with additional scrutiny, we can see that there are very few Bibles on the market that would meet this. Okay, I'm pretty much stuck on the Bible part first. That's where I'm stuck. I'm stuck on that. But with additional scrutiny, we can see there are very few Bibles on the market that would meet these criteria, and all of them have been endorsed by former President Donald Trump. Oklahoma Appleseed Center for Law and Justice Executive Director Colleen McCarty said, okay, you know what? What? The RFP on the face seems fair? What? Girl. Colleen, wake up. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? I hope you're clarifying your statements later on. Former Oklahoma Attorney General Drew Edmondson said the request for proposals might violate state law. I don't understand what's happening right now. It appears to me that this bid is anything but competitive. It adds to the basic specifications other requirements that have nothing to do with the text. The special binding and inclusion of government documents will exclude almost all bidders. If the bid specs exclude most bidders unnecessarily, I could consider that a violation. Here's my problem with the world right now, okay? This is my problem. People like Edmondson and Colleen should be not treating everybody. Everybody looks at this like this is like a corporate exercise, where it's like point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint. It's not. It's not. They lie. There's just so many lies. Number one. Number two, why are we buying Bibles? Oh my God. It's absolutely no, thank you, gal. I'm really glad. Because why are these people saying things that are like a quote? Why are they putting quotes out there that sound like they're, responding to something mundane? That's what it is. It looks like they're responding to something very mundane. Well, I think that bid is rather uncompetitive, and I think that I could see whose job is it? Whose job is it to fix this? Whose job? I don't know what don't we have a law that says church and state? Don't we have something in the something? This is like a ramrod down to dystopia. I don't really get what's happening. There is such little good happening right now that I'm trying to cling to it so much. The Americans United file. Oh, that's right. I think they did, gal. I think they did. I think they referred to that in that New Republic Zoom that we watched about Project 2025. Americans United for the Separation of Church and State, which is a really great organization. And I imagine they're on this. I'm not saying no one's on this, but I'm also saying that when you're quoted in a piece and it's almost as if you're being asked about the new Panera in town, and that's how oh yeah, I went over there, like that. I just don't understand this. This is not where I grew up. I didn't grow up in this country, believe it or not. It just wouldn't. I mean, it would be in different parts of the country. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying this is ridiculous that people aren't like, what? There's no, like, you can have Bibles in the library for the school. I'm not saying you can't, because you can have, but you'll have the Quran, you know, you'll have some other texts, you'll have other religious texts, because part of social studies is world religions and things like that. Totally get it. Totally get it. But this is ridiculous. Separation of church and state concerns aside, much less expensive Bibles are readily available, paperback. I mean, okay, has anyone thought about asking Trump for a bulk deal? Can I help you negotiate this deal, maybe? Is that what you need? Is that what you're looking for, Oklahoman? You're looking for how you could get a better deal on a Bible? Or is it that you're buying books for your curriculum? The Bible happens to be one of them. I don't recall it needing all the extra stuff because, frankly, I can guarantee you, as someone who worked in a high school, those documents exist in that high school outside of a Bible. And there probably is a Bible somewhere in, we did teach a section on world religion. That was part of our curriculum. But it's a social studies thing. It's not. Faith is personal, like the bedroom. We don't need government to tell us what faith to have. I mean, that was actually the founding of the fucking country. The founding of the fucking country was no taxation without representation and freedom from religious persecution. That's the fucking founding of this stupid country. And these people are like pissing on it. They're just pissing on it. I don't get it. All right. Okay. Bibles are readily available, paperback, blah blah blah, for $2.99. Da 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 da. Okay. I mean, even that paragraph about the cost of the Bible. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you know how purchase orders work? Do you know if you're buying 5,000 of something, generally the unit price goes down? Is this the stupid journalist? Is this the dumb shit? I'm sorry. Caught me in a bad mood. Though Walters has frequently said he wants Bibles in every classroom, he also clarified publicly that he wants them in classes where the Bible might apply to academic standards such as history or literature. Okay. The request for 55,000 copies doesn't fit either scenario. There are only 43,000 classroom teachers in the state and many fewer teaching just history or literature. That's true. If the Bibles cost 60 each and the state buys 55,000, that's 3.3 million. No fucking shit. No fucking shit. No extra things. On September 26, Walters asked for $3 million. Oh, he did. Okay. I'm sorry. They were going to pay the full price. Okay. There's no bulk discount. Okay. I understand. This world has definitely moved beyond my comprehension. On September 26, Walters asked for $3 million to purchase Bibles for Oklahoma classrooms as part of his agency's fiscal year 2026 budget request. We've talked about ensuring that our history courses include the role the Bible played throughout American history. Oh, no, that's not how it goes. Oh, no. That's not how it goes. No, that's not how it works. You, my friend, have nothing to do with what happens on the lesson plan. Okay? Okay. Oh, boy. We've talked about the efforts of left-wing groups and the teachers' unions to drive the Bible out of school. Oh, my God. I believe it's important for historical context for our kids to understand. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He said the request was... this is making me more sick to my stomach. With $3 million, the agency was already putting forth to provide Bibles in the classroom. In a discussion with the board at the meeting, Walter said he wanted to issue an RFP and wanted the King James version of the Bible. We don't want extra things in here. Historical documents are fine, Walter said. If it's the King James Version and the Constitution, the Magna Carta, what? Things like that are also in statute that can be used in the classroom, that's fine, but we don't want commentary around the Bible because this is just, no, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's bad practice. That's bad practice. You always challenge a text. You always challenge a text. It's called critical thinking. It's one of the things we're supposed to help kids develop when they're in school. Oh my God. No, I'm not going to sign up to receive your newsletters because you guys are dumb. But we don't want to comment. Okay, wait. Bidding open to fast track Oklahoma. Okay, Walter said finding a Bible vendor should go through the competitive bidding process because that would be the cleanest, easiest way to choose. The board did not discuss purchasing Bibles with the current budget year appropriation. However, the state issued the solicitation Monday, and it's open for just 2 weeks. The Office of Management and Enterprise Services typically recommends at least 4 weeks. Izette said their intention with the RFP is to get Bibles distributed to classrooms as quickly as possible. I said the $3 million is coming from payroll savings? How in the world did you save $3 million on your payroll? That's my question. Where'd you find that money? What? At least 130 people have resigned or been fired since Walters took office. Trump has praised our efforts. In June, Walters announced that a Bible should be in every Oklahoma classroom, though it's unlikely he would have the authority to enforce that. The Oklahoma Supreme Court affirmed that school districts maintain local control over curricula. Right. Some superintendents across the state have said they do not intend to add the Bible to their curriculum. We will not be forcing our teachers to do this, Bixby Superintendent Rob Miller said on News Nation. As a Christian myself, the idea of diminishing the Word of God to a mere classroom prop is a little repulsive to me. So we will not be complying with the directive of having a physical Bible in every classroom. Oh, that's the goal? Walters, that's different. That's a very different thing than saying this is part of our curriculum. Walters has been touting his Bible plan to local and national groups. In these interviews, he talks more about Christianity than history. In one interview, Walters claimed Democrats plan to teach kids to hate their country as well as Christianity and Judaism, and said his Bible initiative is an antidote to that. We are going to be so proud here in Oklahoma to be the first state in the country to bring the Bible back to every single classroom, and every state should be doing this. President Trump praised our efforts. President Trump has been the leader on this issue. Really? Never heard him say it. Walters is a frequent guest on conservative podcasts, radio shows, and TV stations. His agency has a $60,000 per year contract with DC-based Vought Strategies. Gal, did you read that? Is that Russell Vought? Am I messing up the name? You might not be here yet. Or still. Oh yeah, he wants to be the director of education, but there isn't going to be a Department of Education. Trump said that yesterday. The guy who's the state education guy, Walters is a frequent guest on conservative podcasts, radio, and TV stations. His agency has a $60,000 per year contract with DC-based Vought Strategies to book him for national interviews weekly. Is that Russell Vought or whatever that guy's name is? By underpaying teachers and firing others. Yeah, I know, Neil. I know how he got the $3 million, but it couldn't have been pretty. At least Judge Matthew Barrett was clear-eyed on Planet One, shocked that Tina Peters' sentencing isn't getting more coverage. I know, it's kind of interesting. Well, I mean, it's getting coverage as a joke. So, you know what? I've said what I'm going to say. Like, fucking everybody else can figure it out, because nobody asked me. No, you're not being pedantic at all. It's right. The deeper you dig, the more outrageous it gets. Anyway, I don't know if it's Russell Vought or not, but interesting. All right. Now I have another thing for us. Yeah. This is something I wanted to read. Oops, that's not it. Oh, I know why. Okay, there we go. is this like? Okay, that's fine. Oh, can I do this? Can I? Will it do this? I don't think it'll do that. Okay, that's fine. No problem. I'll fight with you after. All right. That's really disturbing. It makes me sad. It makes me sad. Oh, I hate these things. All right, let me see if I can do this another way. Really? This is the way you're going to do me? This is the way you're going to do me? Fucking website. Fucking GUI interface. All right, well, that's maybe. I don't know. Let me see. Actually, I think I can probably. Nope. Okay, you're going to do that. All right, I get it. Sorry. Who programmed this web page? I'm going to kill him. It must be so stressful to a person of moderate politics having to live in a state run by people like Ryan Walters. Yes. Oh my God. Lawyer friend who was recruited by local Dems to work on the election here had not heard about the Tina Peters case. Yeah. Oh, I know. He really dressed her down, and I think it was good for her to hear that. I mean, I think he seems like he only says what he really needs to say. And so it seems to me he felt pretty strongly. Russ Vought's wife, Mary. Oh. Oh. Well, the Department of Education for Oklahoma has a contract with Russ Vought's wife then. So there you go. I don't know if that makes a difference, but certainly is the same players over and over again propping up bad people. Yeah. Yeah, it's I would really, if I were a journalist, I would make hay with this Tina Peters case because to me it explains what Flynn et al. Have been doing around elections the last 3 years. And really all they have to do is, put a bright light in Doug Frank's face and he'll probably give it all up. You know what I mean? Like, this is where I got this money. This is where I got that money. This is where I got this money. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's the tip of the iceberg in terms of something that is right in front of us. Like, right in front of us is the election. Right in front of us is the post-election where election challenges come into play. And that they have already, people like Roger Stone et al. Have already said the game will be in challenging the results. They know they're going to lose. They know the numbers. Believe me. They don't fucking take a shit without knowing the numbers. And so I think it is a huge mistake to not take a second look at Tina Peters and the world surrounding her. This isn't about Tina. This is not about Tina. It's about the group around that propped up Tina to do what she did and did it in other states. He said it yesterday. Doug Frank stood at that lectern and said to the judge, I've been in dozens of states and I've seen dozens of machine copy. He said it. So I don't know the law, but I have a feeling that there is some culpability up the chain, either through funding people like Doug Frank at all, or actually helping drive what their activities are in order to, because what's happened is, you know those 64 court challenges that happened in 2020, 2021? That was nothing. That was nothing. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know how to manipulate evidence in order to prove their point. Well, guess what? They've had 3 years and lots of fucking brain power around election systems. I don't think they're smart enough to hack anything on the day. I just think they're smart enough to know where are the vulnerabilities that we can exploit that will cause enough distrust and chaos that the result is called into question. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, hello, you guys. Tina isn't just a funny white lady getting her due. She's just a prop. She was the boy who lived. Okay? There's other Tinas, there's other machines, there's other data. And what Tina should have done if she didn't want to sleep on a 2-inch mattress, she should have said, Judge, district attorney, state attorney, whatever you are, let me tell you what happened and what I know. And then she would talk about Sharona Bishop. And then Sharona Bishop, because she's closer to the planners, would probably flip on, I don't know, Corey Butthole Surfer. Corey Butthole Surfer might flip on Patrick Byrne and Mike Flynn. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think Tina is a joke. I think there's a lot to learn from her case in terms of what people have been up to the last 3 years. I think it should be an example. Unfortunately, I hate people to be examples because people shouldn't have to be examples, but here we are. So her case should be an example to the rest of the election people across the country, especially those who met with Doug Frank. And I don't know, maybe the FBI is investigating him. They have his phone. Maybe they're investigating him. I don't know. I have no idea. But it took us it took us 3 years to get here. And it just because we had a really good judge, okay? We had a really great judge. Because he was thoughtful. He let them bring in a lot of bullshit stuff so that he could at least not be charged with being unfair. He gave them a lot of leeway, even though her lawyers were so ill-prepared the entire trial. It was a joke. So I don't know who paid for that, but they should get their money back because those guys fucking sucked. Tina. She should be a flipper. She should be. Anyway, that's my thing about Tina. So yeah, whatever. I'm just this little tiny person out here trying to point out what I see. But whatever. I'll get a fake avatar that's a lot younger and cuter to say it. Maybe then people will listen. Okay, here we go. CIGI. Okay, so this is an article. Again, all of these will be linked in the description. I need some weed. I've been up. I did not go to bed. I know it's hitting her hard today. I don't actually feel sorry for her. I really don't. Yeah, Rico. Thank you, Carla. Like, I don't know the law, so I don't, someone could easily tell me, hey, Lolo, nothing that they did is illegal. And I'd be like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not illegal, fine. I mean, I would still like to document it, but I certainly won't push hard for, something that can never happen. I'm not into that. But I feel like, here's my feeling, which is dumb. But the question I have, I guess, is it not against the law to defraud voters systematically and also concurrently to that attempt to compromise or at least to access voting systems that are not accessible by the public? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why Doug Frank isn't in trouble, or Sharona Bishop. I don't know why Sharona Bishop isn't in trouble for getting Tina Peters to do what she did. In a massive conspiracy. Yeah, Carla. I mean, really. I don't know. I don't know. Whatevs. Okay, I'm going to smoke this little half joint, and then I'm going to read this thing about Raskin and Thompson getting all pissed off. I need to look deeper into Project 2025. Oh, yes, Lee. Read their plans for customs, one of the oldest agencies with such a critical role. Oh my gosh, Lee, that would be so interesting. I would love to have your insight on that. Maybe we should do is there a section on like trade and commerce? Butterflies, free Portina, no magnets. No magnets. I have no pity, but she only worries about her life. Now that's a life in prison for the next 9 years. Oh my God. You know what the most hilarious thing about this is? It's not really hilarious, but it made me kind of giggle. Is that yesterday, both Mike Flynn and I think it was Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch. I can't remember. Both of them were saying that Tina's going to die in prison. And if I was her, she's 69 years old, right? If I was her, I'd be like, excuse me? You guys think I'm going to die? Oh, your kid. That's right. Peter Navarro was the trade guy, wasn't he? Oh, fuck. I can't wait. We got to read that then. Lee, we're going to read that. We're going to go over that. I mean, we don't have to do it now, but let's do that on the next Wake and Bake. That would be great. I love me some Peter Navarro, some Smeagol. He's so great. He's so great. He's so great. Anyway, yeah. Hey, Neil. Oh, you're saying hi to everyone. You've already said hi to me. Okay. I'm very not good at this. I think I'm really bad at it, actually. Oh, there we go. So we're going to read next. Ouch. About ranking members Raskin and Thompson call for removal of Inspector General. Oh, man. Oh, so that's a big nothing. Fine, because guess what? I had one rolled. Because I'm very smart. Very smart. I'm not. Oh, wait. That's better, I think. Okay. Yay. Yay. Okay, ranking members Raskin and Thompson call for removal of Inspector General Kufari following a damning report. Holy boo-boo. CIGIE report details in Kufari's serious misconduct, obstruction, abuse of power, waste of taxpayer funds. Holy shit. Rep. Jamie Raskin, ranking member of the Committee on Oversight and Accountability, and ranking member Benny Thompson, ranking member of the House Committee on Homeland Security, issued the following statement after the Council of Inspectors General on Integrity and Efficiency released its report on the Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Joseph V. Kufari. Quote, in the wake of independent and nonpartisan CIGIE Integrity Committee's report documenting IG Kufari's misconduct, we call on President Biden to remove him as Inspector General of DHS. CIGIE's report confirms the findings of our own multi-year investigation, which is that DHS Inspector General Kufari misled Congress during his confirmation to become an Inspector General, and after becoming Inspector General, once again misled Congress and proceeded to blatantly abuse his powers and waste millions in taxpayer dollars. An Inspector General has the profound responsibility of acting as the independent, nonpartisan watchdog of a federal agency, but Inspector General Kufari's extensive and shocking record of misconduct and obstruction is evidence that he's seriously compromised the public's trust and is plainly not fit to serve in a position that requires him to guard the public interest and act beyond reproach. Inspector General Kufari's unprecedented misconduct in office has been underscored and exacerbated by his persistent and repeated obstruction of oversight efforts. Not only did he fail to fully and meaningfully comply with our investigation, he actively worked to undermine and thwart it. Inspector General Kufari's actions are an outrageous affront, an embarrassment to the Inspector General community, and have undermined the reputation of the entire DHS Office of the Inspector General. All right. Wow. You're here. You're here. Ah. Well, it is the wake and bake, so I have to do something. Their latest and greatest is that the government... Oh, I know. No, actually, that FEMA is destroying supplies. Let's see. FEMA's destroying supplies. The hurricane was man-made. This is what I've heard from the chuds. The hurricane was man-made. FEMA destroyed all the supplies. All the money that was supposed to go to FEMA went to illegal immigrants. That's what I've heard. No, it's bad. It's all bad. And it's bad by design, Jim. It's bad by design. So. Okay. Here we go. The report found the following violations. IG Kufari lied to Congress during his confirmation process. Kufari provided wrongfully inaccurate and misleading responses to Congress during his confirmation process by failing to acknowledge that he was previously the subject of a federal investigation into his misconduct as a sworn law enforcement officer for the Department of Justice of Office of Inspector General. What? How didn't they know that? Butterflies, you're exactly right. Tina wasn't intended to learn anything from this. She's just the victim. Let's see. He also failed to disclose that he retired immediately after learning that these potentially career-impacting allegations of misconduct were pending. IG Kufari misrepresented to Congress his role in the outside investigation of DHS OIG. After his confirmation, Kufari hired a private law firm to investigate 3 former members of his staff. In written responses to questions from Congress, IG Kufari knowingly misrepresented his role in that outside law firm's personnel investigations by telling Congress it was an independent investigation and he was a mere witness. To the contrary, the Integrity Committee found that the IG Kufari intervened in the investigation for his own benefit, a clear abuse of his authority. Kufari expended $1.39 million of taxpayer funds to hire a private law firm to investigate those former members of staff, most likely for his personal interest and in order to retaliate against 2 of them. 2 of these employees had lodged formal complaints about Kufari. One employee ultimately received a $1.17 million settlement to resolve claims of retaliation. My God. How'd this guy keep going? That's what I want to know. The CIGIE Integrity Committee referred 3 additional allegations to the president. The Integrity Committee explained that they did not further investigate certain issues because they doubted the IG Kufari would cooperate with additional investigatory efforts, and the additional investigation would delay the publication of substantiated allegations. Kufari's alleged misconduct extended so far beyond the bounds of acceptable standards that the Integrity Committee referred the following charges for further investigation, including Kufari and a DHS OIG senior executive diminished and delayed reports regarding sexual harassment at DHS and domestic abuse by DHS personnel. IG Kufari and one of the senior executives failed to timely and adequately disclose to Congress the Secret Service's deletion of text messages that were potentially relevant to Congress's January 6 investigation. And IG Kufari deleted his own work-related text messages, and one of his senior executives failed to report that fact to the National Archives and Records Administration. Although the CIGIE Integrity Committee report did not investigate Kufari's deletion of text messages, it obtained evidence that, contrary to Kufari's testimony at a June 6, 2023 House Oversight and Accountability... Is this still lit? No. The border and foreign affairs hearings, that he routinely deleted text messages on his government-issued cell phone, but that he did not use that phone to conduct business. He did, in fact, send and receive text messages from his government-issued cell phone that related to his work. In response to the substantiated misconduct, the Integrity Committee recommended that the president take appropriate action, including removal. Okay, so this is like Oh, here we go. This is the background. Hold on. I'm going to just do some more smoking. I'm going to do some more baking. Well, I didn't even know this guy existed. It is kind of weird. I think the whole concept of, sometimes I think the concept of countries are weird. I understand like process and order and, organization. It's kind of like a sock drawer, those separators in sock drawers. Cuffed are I. I am little Tina sitting in a cell. When I want a coffee, I just ring the bell. But they won't bring me one. They are very mean. I am little Tina. I won't say the rest of it. They could have used a less Nazi sounding word like domestic. I don't know. I think you're right. The whole thing is, and I kind of wonder, do we need like a CIA? Like, don't we have enough agencies that we could like spread those people out to other agencies? Like, why do we need a CIA anymore? Shouldn't we be like leading by example? And I mean, can't spies work otherwise? And like I don't know. Okay, that's just a question I have, and clearly the answer is no. Otherwise, this is why I don't have a job in government. So there, I'm not shocked. Whoops. Oh God. Okay. Background: the committees have a long-standing investigation into Kafari's poor leadership and gross mismanagement. Despite Kafari's repeated attempts to thwart meaningful oversight, the committees continue to seek accountability. In June 2023, Oversight Democrats wrote to the Archivist of the United States calling for an investigation into Kafari following his alarming admission at the committee hearing that he may have reportedly violated federal law by deleting text messages on his government. Oh, so he brought this on himself. Christians in action. Let's see. In July 2023, Homeland Security Democrats followed up with the Archivist and NARA with additional documents. The committees also learned about a whistleblower complaint made to NARA, Office of Inspector General, in March 2023 regarding his deletion of federal records. In July 2023, Raskin and Thompson sent a letter to Kafari requesting documents regarding his use of taxpayer funds to settle claims of retaliation against him. The ranking members renewed their calls in a January 2024 letter to Kafari in light of new evidence obtained by the committees that revealed he may not have followed his office's procedures when he delegated the authority for the $1.17 million settlement with another employee, who he was then trying to retaliate against. I don't really get it. Then, in response to the letters in February, Kafari wrote to the Oversight and Accountability and Homeland Security Committee chairman asking them to intervene in committee Democrats' investigation, a blatant attempt to obstruct oversight. What? Kafari falsely claimed that DHS OIG was not under investigation because the oversight was not being conducted by the committee's majorities and incorrectly designated himself a whistleblower. Oh, sure. To shield himself from oversight despite being the head of a federal agency and thus not covered by Whistleblower Protection Act. And it's not, okay, never mind. In March 2024, ranking members wrote to Chairman James Comer and Mark Green urging them to reject Kufari's continued attempts to evade oversight and accountability after repeatedly failing to comply with congressional Democrats' requests for documents and information regarding his mismanagement. That is very, let me see if I can just, that's interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. Let me take a break, and then I want to read this too. I want to read this too. Wah. I want to read this. But first, we smoke. Yeah. I don't know. These guys. I guess self-preservation is a hell of a drug. I understand that. I think right now we're experiencing like historic levels of self-preservation in action. Yeah, it's all I don't know. I worry about the I don't know what I worry about. All right, Neil, have a good one, babe. That's right. Tomorrow night. Don't miss it. Trivia to end all trivia. It's a trivia apocalypse. That's what I'm going to call it. I haven't done the thing yet. Okay, I'll do that. Trivia apocalypse. It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found. Anyway, what's everyone doing this weekend? What are you guys doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think I'm doing much. Probably just stuff around the house. I have to trim the dog's nails. I know that. It's time. Let's see, what else? Oh, you know what? Let me do this. I want to pull this up right now. Hold on. It had to be you. It had to be you. I just want to see how big the trade section is of this. Why are you so small? Oops. I wandered around and finally found someone who. Oh man, I don't do joints well. I must do something wrong. I gotta work tomorrow. Bummer. Oh, what are we doing? Are we at like 35% yet? I'm been on fire. Okay, here's the thing. I have arthritis. And they need to make these a little easier for us little ladies with arthritis. Because I don't have a grip. It's not pain per se, but I don't have a grip anymore. Yeah, if they're lucky. Huh. Bitches. You're gonna Autumn Fest. Oh, Max, that sounds so fun. Oh, that sounds so much fun. There we go. I can't imagine. Just throw a shad and split. Oh, I understand. I would want it. I don't like crowds either. But that would be but I like the concept. The concept of the fall festival sounds good. All right. Let's get going. Let's do some. I just wanted to look at where the commerce section was on this. Hold on. Trade. There we go. 765. Burp, burp, burp. Oh, come on. So you're not 765, really. Oh, bitch. All right, now how far did I go? Oh, oops. $765? Yeah. Jesus Christ. They put him at the end. Oh, yeah. I want to read this. It's like 35 pages. God, I really want to read this, though. I should probably, him and his tables. Him and his tables. Okay, we're getting there. There we go. Whoops. Okay. Oh, there we go. The case for fair trade. Oh, really? It was more than a year ago? Wow. Lee, guess what, Lee? I found the trade section of Project 2025. I used to go in to get the maple cotton candy until I realized it's just maple flavored. What? Cheaters. I got to get some apple cider. I'm ready for apple cider. Although we're in the middle of a little mini heat wave. But we can still, I'll pretend. Just can't wear sweaters yet. I never read the whole thing. I read bits and bobs, but I never read the whole thing. I don't have that much attention. I don't have any attention span. All right. I really want to read this. Would you guys get so bored if I read this section? But I want to read it. I could do a special. You didn't read the whole thing. Yeah, you definitely. I recall some of your commentary, so I know you were looking at some at different parts of it. I kind of want to read this though. Actually, let me go ahead and read the shorter article. All right, so I wanted to read this one. This one. You're the best. Navarro is author. Wonder if. Okay, you know what? I gotta read that. Lee, I gotta read the trade section. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know why I'm so curious about this. I don't know why. I know I get really nervous around a lot of people. I get really anxious. Navarro credits Joanna Miller's help. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Well, maybe. Well, we can start and then I don't know. Gosh, I feel bad if I really bore people. Let me make sure. Oh wait, you know what? Actually, I want to. There's another one. Sorry. I know I'm so bad. Navarro in his field is significantly than MAGA Navarro. But is he? But he's a. So you're saying he's an actually serious trade expert? Yeah, I can imagine. A weird world. Okay, well we have we have choices. This is the way I want to really. I want to look at it more as we have choices. I found someone posted, and I don't know. I forgot who. So hold on. Oh, come on. This was from yesterday. I think it's from yesterday. Yeah, I think I think Gal Squad shared this. Um, I think Gal Squad shared this with me. I apologize. I don't really remember. But this is from Mother Jones from yesterday. You have to cooperate. GOP operative says he was threatened by Steve Bannon. And it's written by Dan Friedman. And it says, former Trump, oh God, Sam Nunberg. He's such an idiot. God, he's a little worm. He's a wormy guy. Former Trump Sam Nunberg claims that Bannon told him to help a right-wing Chinese mogul or else he'd be sued. If Navarro is an expert, he's been quiet. It never came across my 30-year career. Fuck yeah, Lee. Fuck yeah. That's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because he talks fancy. All right. Here we go. Oh, there they are. In December 2018, Sam Nunberg met with Steve Bannon at the Lowe's Regency Hotel in Manhattan. Nunberg, a former Donald Trump campaign aide, expected to discuss work he was doing for a PAC that Bannon ran. But Bannon, whom Trump had fired from a White House job the year before, had other plans. Nunberg says that moments after the meeting began, Bannon pulled out what he said was a printed lawsuit and warned that the fugitive Chinese mogul Guo Wenguai was poised to sue Nunberg. Bannon, who was working for Guo at the time, said he could have the lawsuit shelved, but Bannon wanted something in return. Sorry, everybody. Nunberg would have to appear in a video with Guo and claim that Nunberg had learned that that 3 other men had conspired to fabricate a rape allegation against Guo made by a former personal assistant, an allegation that had resulted in a criminal case in China and a lawsuit in New York, both begun in 2017. Further, Bannon wanted Nunberg to say that the same 3 supposed accomplices, a Chinese entrepreneur named Bruno Wu, casino mogul Steve Wynn, and GOP fundraiser Elliot Broidy, were involved in the issuing of a red notice by Interpol seeking the arrest of Guo for alleged financial crimes in China, Nunberg recalled. Quote, "You have to cooperate and this can be dropped," Bannon said, according to a memo Nunberg wrote shortly after the incident. "Otherwise, Kwok is going to bankrupt you and ruin your life. Ho-Wan Kwok is one of several aliases used by Guo." Nunberg, who recounted this exchange in a series of recent interviews with Mother Jones, wrote in his memo that the quotes he used are almost verbatim. Nunberg, who said the story Bannon proposed was totally false, refused his demands. Days later, Guo sued Nunberg for defamation and other claims. Bannon is currently serving a 4-month federal prison sentence in Connecticut following his 2022 conviction on contempt of Congress charges related to his refusal to comply with a subpoena from the House January 6 committee. He did not respond to requests made through his attorney to comment for this story. Representatives for Guo, Broidy, Wu, and Wynn declined to comment. The narrative Barron wanted Nunberg to recite incorporated some reality. Wu was a Guo adversary already embroiled in litigation against Guo, and Wu acknowledged in a 2021 deposition that after learning of the rape accusation against Guo, he had helped Guo's accuser find a U.S. lawyer, a step with which Nunberg, who did legal work for Wu, had assisted. Wu also said in the deposition that he paid the legal costs for the accuser's U.S. lawsuit against Guo, which included putting up a $150,000 retainer. Broidy and Wynn had both lobbied Trump in 2017 to have Guo, who'd fled China in 2014 and later styled himself a top critic of the Chinese Communist Party, extradited to his home country. In 2020, Broidy pled guilty to conspiring to violate foreign lobbying laws, in part by working at the behest of a Chinese government official to have Guo returned. The Justice Department sued Wynn in 2022 for failing to register as a foreign agent for China, arguing that he had personally lobbied Trump for Guo's extradition in a bid to get favorable treatment for casinos he owned in China's Macau region. Wynn, who denied those allegations, prevailed in court. But while Bannon had correctly identified 4 actual Guo enemies, there is zero evidence that they had conspired to concoct the rape allegations against Guo or were responsible for other charges being leveled against him in China. The rape accusation against Guo was made by Rui Ma, a former personal assistant for Guo who sued the tycoon in New York. Ma detailed her allegations in a day-long deposition on June 3rd, 2021, which she took part in via video from China. Ma said that Guo, after hiring her in 2015 when she was in her mid-20s, had effectively held her as a prisoner for 2 years before she escaped via the Chinese embassy in London. In her complaint and her deposition, Ma detailed the circumstances of at least 5 alleged assaults. I have been raped by him so many times, Ma said in the deposition. It made me hate myself so much. Ma said that the attacks left her depressed. I wanted to commit suicide every day, every second. She recounted later in the deposition. Kwok has cursed me, abused me, attacks me in ways, the worst words you can use in this world. Guo has denied Ma's allegations, claiming that they, along with various criminal charges he faces in China, were invented by the Chinese Communist Party officials in retaliation for his criticism of the country's rulers. Ma said in her deposition that she had reported the assaults to local police at the encouragement of her parents without any outside influence. Nunberg said in recent interviews that he had nothing to do with the rape charge beyond helping Ma find a U.S. lawyer or the other allegations against Guo in China. Nunberg also said that he has never met Broidy or Nguyen, let alone conspired with them. Wu said in his deposition in the Ma case that he had contacted Ma, helped her file suit in the U.S. only after learning she had reported Guo's alleged attacks to Chinese police. Bannon's intervention in this dispute gained new relevance in July when a jury convicted Guo of 9 felonies related to federal charges that he stole hundreds of millions of dollars in investments he had raised from ardent supporters of an anti-CCP political movement that he and Bannon had launched together. One of the charges Guo was convicted on was racketeering conspiracy. Prosecutors argued that Guo and his associates protected their criminal enterprise through various thuggish methods. Federal prosecutors named Bannon as a co-conspirator in the case, though Bannon has not been charged with a crime in the matter. Bannon's alleged threat to Nunberg highlights how deeply enmeshed in Guo's operations the former Trump campaign chief was. Bannon was infamously arrested on Guo's yacht in 2020 as part of an unrelated case, but his role in helping to launch Guo's political and financial operations in the United States exceeds what is generally known or what Bannon has publicly acknowledged. Guo had made a fortune in Chinese real estate before fleeing China in late 2014 ahead of the filing of criminal charges for fraud and bribing a top state official. In 2017, from a $68 million penthouse in Manhattan, Guo began broadcasting allegations about corruption in the Chinese Communist Party, and he began cultivating ties to U.S. political operatives close to Trump, most prominently Bannon. Guo in 2018 began paying Bannon $1 million a year, according to information revealed during Guo's trial. Guo also allowed Bannon to use his private plane and gave him access to his Connecticut house and the $30 million yacht. In addition, Guo became a key funder for War Room, the influential podcast Bannon launched in 2019. Bannon in turn helped Guo start a series of companies and nonprofits supposedly aimed at undermining the Chinese Communist Party. The men called this collective enterprise a whistleblower movement and leveraged it to win support from tens of thousands of people in the Chinese diaspora. When Guo in 2020 began rolling out investment opportunities for his supporters, Bannon provided behind-the-scenes advice along with public promotion. He continued extolling Guo, who he called the George Washington of the new China, even as critics began complaining that Guo had ripped them off. Bannon, in short, was crucial to the fraud scheme that Guo was recently convicted of executing. In 2023, in 2023, a federal judge sanctioned Guo lawyers for filing a frivolous lawsuit accusing the U.S. trustee in a bankruptcy case initiated by Guo of violating foreign lobbying laws. Though the suit was filed on behalf of a group of Guo supporters, Judge Valerie Caproni said in her ruling that the case was in part a legal campaign waged by Guo. Caproni ripped the attorneys for their, quote, pattern of bringing meritless claims against Mr. Guo's adversaries, conduct that he has praised. She said the plaintiff's true preoccupation is trying to defend defend Guo by harassing those perceived to be his adversaries. One Guo legal action that did succeed was a 2018 lawsuit he filed against longtime Trump advisor Roger Stone. Wait, I'm sorry. I have like a little watery eye. Ugh. Stuck. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm so fascinated by this because I don't understand enough about it. I have a copy. Well, I had a copy. My hard drive got wiped last week when my computer shit the bed. But anyway, yeah, I can get. There's a copy of his bankruptcy case available to read, and it's fucking wild. I mean, it's really crazy. Guo's, that is. So one Guo legal action that did succeed was a 2018 lawsuit he filed against a longtime Trump advisor Roger Stone. Stone, in appearances on Alex Jones' InfoWars, had falsely claimed that Guo was found guilty and convicted of financial crimes in the U.S. and had made illegal political donations to Hillary Clinton. Guo sued Stone for defamation, seeking $100 million in damages. Stone settled the suit in December 2018 by acknowledging his remarks were untrue and apologizing in ads he was required to place in national newspapers. In a statement he issued at the time, Stone, who had previously worked closely with Nunberg before the two had a falling out, blamed his former colleague. I made the error of relying on the representations of Sam Nunberg in my report on this matter, and for that I apologized, Stone said. Bannon's attempt to pressure Nunberg came the day after news of Stone's settlement, and Bannon referenced it in the Lowe's meeting. Quote, "You saw what just happened to Roger Stone," Bannon said, according to Nunberg's memo. Nunberg said in an interview that Stone's statement was false. Quote, "I never talked to Roger about Guo," he maintained. But Guo's lawsuit against Nunberg picked up on Stone's story. It accused Nunberg of conspiring with Wu to spread false information about Guo to prominent United States media personalities. These claims were separate from the rape allegations. A New York judge dismissed Guo's suit, finding it failed to provide sufficient facts about how Nunberg and Wu supposedly defamed him. A few months later, Nunberg sued Guo for defamation, citing a series of online videos in which Guo repeated and elaborated on the allegations he made in his lawsuit against Nunberg. In his complaint, Nunberg called Guo's allegations preposterous fictions. Nunberg's lawsuit, along with Ma's case against Guo, is pending. Guo, who has been jailed since his March 2023 arrest. Do you need what? Looks interesting. Exposed by CMD. Doot. Ugh, sorry. Need link to mandate? What's mandate? Oh, shoot. Let me know if I need to do something. I'll be happy to do it. Sweat. Okay, here we go. I'm looking forward to that tweet, too. I want to see what you're saying. Okay. Guo, who has been jailed since his March 2023 arrest, is likely to receive a long prison term when he is sentenced on December 9th. Nunberg said he hopes by speaking up about the 2018 incident, he can help thwart any efforts by Bannon to win clemency for Guo if Trump retakes the White House. Well, good luck with that. Bannon received his own pardon on Trump's last day in office in 2021, allowing Bannon to avoid federal prosecution on charges that he helped defraud donors to a charity that purported to raise private funds to build Trump's border wall. Bannon is set to face trial on similar state-level charges in New York in December. That's right. Steve is completely compromised by Guo, Nunberg said. He will do anything and everything to push for Guo to be pardoned for his massive billion-dollar fraud scheme. I hope any future Trump White House rejects Bannon's request. And that is it. Wow, that's really interesting. I'm sorry, that's really interesting. Let me go to... Wow. Luigi. I think I'm losing my voice. I'm losing my voice. It's really crazy. Oh, here we go. With about 6 weeks to go until the presidential election. What? No, it's not. Isn't it like 30 days? Oh, thank you. The Project 2025. Yes, I should do that. And I'll also link it in the thing after I'll put that link in the description of the video too. So you'll have all the links that I have. I've got them stacked and ready. So some watchers are less concerned about who will win than they are about the voting process, not to mention what might happen when the winner is announced. Yeah, I'm hearing some pretty violent talk. Can I just say that? And it's very, very... Oh, wait, I need that. I need that first. I need this first. I need this. We all need this first, because I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, here we go. Oops. Stop. So this is from the Gal Suburban account. The real question is, which America First will survive? Roger Stone and Mike Flynn running ops to take down Bannon and Trump? Or did Bannon outplay them, framing them like Russia, Russia, Russia? We'll see what happens. I guess it comes down to whoever does the talking. All right, so we've got a clip here. Let me make sure this is up. And go back. The Stone Zone. All right, here we go.
Should not continue to be able to put himself forward as an advocate for the America First agenda. Steve Bannon publicly accused the president of having Alzheimer's. He said the Trump organization was a criminal enterprise. He said that Trump would be prosecuted. I can do this almost verbatim. When the American people learn he's not a billionaire, he's just another scumbag.
You need that horse ready to go.
Well, so I do think General Flynn has the stature to be a voice for the American First agenda.
Should Roger Stone be pardoned?
First off, the Roger Stone thing. Look, Roger's a artist.
Why did Trump give him a pardon?
I think he was blackmailed. That's what I think. Let's be very clear. Not only did Steve Bannon steal the name of my InfoWars show with the great American Owen Schroyer, The War Room, but he testified falsely at my trial against me. He was an informant for Robert Mueller.
I was compelled to testify. Like I was compelled to testify. I was under subpoena by Mueller. I was under subpoena by the House. I got a handwritten subpoena in my House testimony. I was forced to go to the grand jury, and I'm forced and compelled to come here today.
The same people who said for 2 years I was a Russian spy working with Julian Assange now say I was involved in the illegal actions at the Capitol on January 6th. It's a lie.
President.
So you don't think he should be pardoned?
Well, no, I think the president I think takes these pardons very seriously. I think he'll look at Manafort. If something unfortunately happens to General Flynn.
So there it is. The challenge, the gauntlet has been laid down, Big Steve. Come on, Sloppy Steve. We can find a suit and tie for you that's clean, I think. And you should come on InfoWars and answer what I just said.
I'm not talking about a bunch of flakes running some trolling operation in Florida up on Facebook. Please give me a break, okay?
All you little Bannon groupies who want to go on social media and challenge me, I wouldn't suggest it, because I will merely block you. Facts are facts.
Show me.
It's true.
Where is it?
He did. He blocked
You know
me.
what you got? You got hubbada, 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 hubbada.
I need to clip that last part. Hubbada, 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 hubbada. That needs to go in a video. We need to drop that beat. We need to drop that beat. Wait, let's see. What do we got here? Did you answer when it was? Oh, that's me. November 3rd, 2021. I don't even know what I meant. Oh my God, I don't even know what I meant. Okay. Anyway. Oh no. Erection integrity. Oh no. Oh fuck. Again. Nothing up my sleeve. Presto. Oh wait, I have new sound effects. Hold on. I think. Do I? Oh shit. Oh no, you know what? They're here. Hold on. Tiny print. Tiny print. Oh, here we go.
You want to get to the point, mister. Now what is it? What are you trying to tell us?
That's right. Wait, get to the point. Wait, here's another one. Oh no, that's not it. Oh, here we go.
No, sir, it's no mistake. Marijuana.
Yep, I love that one. And then, wait. Oh, wait, where's... Let me see where... I don't... Oh, here we go.
200 dicks on the dance floor. 200 dicks on the dance floor. Too many dicks. 200 dicks on the dance floor. Too many dicks. Too many dicks on the dance floor. Too many dicks. Going to the party.
We have a new song. So I'm getting more sounds. I like the dragnet ones. You are a charlatan. You are a charlatan. You are no hero. Oh no, Flynn is not. Oh, Jim Nalgren? No, he's not. I'm 5'4.5", and we see eye to eye. Okay? He is not 5'8". Oh, fuck no. Yeah, he's short. He's little. He's like slight. He's like a little like stick figure. Yeah, I love that bit too. I love Flight of the Conchords so much. Do the Moms for Threesomes work for the Heritage Foundation? Sure. Sure. Sure they do. Yeah, they're all friends. They all have, Thanks for dropping that link to the Project 2025. I appreciate that. Everybody, take a look. Yeah, he's little. He's tiny. Tiny baby. Tiny dancer. That's it. Wait. Hold me closer. Wait. Illegal pardon, tiny dancer. Wait, tiny. What would he be? Tiny. Oh. Tiny trader. There you go, Carla. That's it. Writer's room. Illegal pardon, tiny trader. Dun, dun. You had a busy day today. Sorry, that's a little out of my range. Tiny. Gonna treason. 'Tis the season. You're watching freedom wash away. That's good, actually. That's not bad. It's a little out of my range, but it's not bad. Speaking of short, where's Ivan? Well, he was actually sitting. Actually, Laura Logan was sitting on his lap yesterday on Roseanne Barr's podcast. That's what I know. He's just the tip. That's what we call him. Just the tip. Yeah, I should. I gotta write some more lyrics. Go to prison, tiny trader. Russian anchor baby. Fuck yeah. Yep, that's the one. Just the tip. Yep. Yeah, I've got a couple things to record. I got to do that. This week is pretty much pushing me towards head down, maybe even just like take a little hiatus and do some recording and not do daily shows, but I don't know, I'm thinking about that. I'm not sure. I would be bored if I would want to do this, so I would not be able to stop. I can't stop when I get up again. Because I look forward to this every morning. Fucking so. You know what we haven't sung lately, though? I got those Jimmy Jordan blues. I got those Jimmy Jordan blues. That would be the one. Yes, Carrie. I mean, I don't know. Makes sense to me. I don't work for the FBI. But, this is why I think, and I just hate to say it, but I really think the cases like Tina Peters are actually important because she holds information about other people. Sharona Bishop, I think, is key in that particular part of the world. If you were able to get her to flip on Sharona and then Sharona to say something, then we might be getting somewhere. And you could do it on state charges, so it couldn't be pardoned. Meh. Oh, of course, it doesn't matter, but whatever, you know. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's. Oh, is it on the tie-dye church guy? Are you fucking kidding me? Really, Max? Yeah, the Tina Peter cult. The cult of Tina Peters. Wow. 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 It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. I guess it's a small, small world with small, small men. Oh, that's the wrong one. I always. There we go. That's a crazy. Crazy. The tie-dye guy up in Yuba City. I got a Colt in Yuba City, and it needs a blonde. I got a Colt in Yuba City. Actually, she's gray. I mean, let's be real. Let's keep it real. I got a Colt in Yuba City. Ooh. Let me make sure. I got so many good bookmarks, and I just want to make sure. Oh, you know what? Fuck, I gotta read this. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. I know I want to read that. They're like a fungus. I know, right? I'm not surprised. I mean, actually, that's the good news. The good news, I guess, is that there is a central, yes, the place that takes in victims. I'm sure they do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not buying it. I actually want to look into that. now that you bring it up, I think I want to take a second look at that church. Yeah, okay. I'm going to take a second look at that church. I know a thing or two about, trafficking, rescue, and blah, blah. So, interesting. I got a Colt in Yuba City. And we all wear the tie-dye. But that's the good news. There's only a few of them. There is really a finite, well, not finite, but there's a list of instigators and planners that go back a long time. And if you were able to demonstrate how or if they broke the laws, then we might get somewhere. Because then it might drive them back down under the rocky rocks. Anyone ever come across Kaylee Long or a company named Westwind Elements in research? I haven't heard of that, Lee, but I wonder about Gal and others. Scold me, Doxer. Tiny trader. I have to get that little down step that he does in that. I don't know what the notes are. I'm making them up, which is really a bad idea. Unfortunately, I really want to read this one too. God dang it. We got a lot. We got so much to read. So much to read. I got a Colt in Yuba City. All right. Until November 2nd. What? No. Okay. I really wanted to read this. I don't know. Are you guys good with this? It's a nickel refinery. Oh. What? Oh, Westwind Elements? Interesting. What's that for? What do they do that for, I wonder? I wonder what they do that for. What are you doing with all that nickel? Where are you refining it? Is it fancy? Billionaire preachers shouldn't be a thing. Carrie, you are so right. But this has been in the news recently, and I didn't read it yet, so I would like to read it if you don't mind. Hopefully it's just good background for whatever you're doing. I'll try and do it in as relaxing a voice as possible, even though it will probably still make us very angry. Okay, here we go. From the wonderful people at ProPublica. You know I love them very much. A pair of billionaire preachers built the most powerful political machine in Texas. That's just the start. October 2nd by Ava Kaufman. Last December, Sid Miller, the Texas Commissioner of Agriculture, posted a photo of himself brandishing a double-barrel shotgun on X and invited his followers to join him on a rhino hunt. Miller had taken to stumping in the March primary election against incumbents he deemed to be Republicans in name only. Not long after that, he received a text message from one of his targets, a state representative named Glenn Rogers. "You are a bought and paid for, pathetic narcissist," it began. "If you had any honor, you would challenge me or any of my Republican colleagues to a duel." Rogers, a 68-year-old rancher, maybe they'll all duel each other, Carla, and then they'll take care of it. Lickety split. Yeah. Rogers, a 68-year-old rancher and grandfather of 5, represents a rural district west of Fort Worth. He was proud to serve in a legislature that, as he told me recently, couldn't be more conservative if it tried. Since entering office in 2021, he co-authored legislation that allowed Texans to carry handguns without a permit, supported the Heartbeat Act that grants citizens the right to sue abortion providers, and voted to give the police the power to arrest suspected undocumented migrants in schools and hospitals. In a state house packed with debate me agitators, he was comparatively soft-spoken, a former professor of veterinary medicine with an aversion to grandstanding. He was not in the habit of firing off salvos, as he had to Miller, that ended with, "Kiss my ass." But the viciousness of the primary season had been getting to him. Nearly a year before the March elections, ads began to appear in Rogers' district, castigating him not simply as a rhino, but as a closet liberal who supported gun control and Sharia law. Rogers was especially peeved by an ad that photoshopped his signature white cowboy hat onto the headshot of Joe Biden. Some of the attacks originated from his challengers campaign, while others were sponsored by organizations with grassroots-sounding names like Texans for Fiscal Responsibility, Texas Gun Rights, and Texas Family Project. By the time voters headed to the polls, they could have been forgiven for thinking that Rogers had disappointed a suite of conservative groups. In reality, Rogers had disappointed 2 men, Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilks, billionaires who have made their fortunes in the oil industry. Over the past decade, the pair have built the most powerful political machine in Texas, a network of think tanks, media organizations, political action committees. Boy, we always find those when we look at the open secrets. The PACs are always in Texas, and nonprofits that work in lockstep to purge the legislature of Republicans whose votes they can't rely on. Cycle after cycle, their relentless maneuvering has pushed the state house so far to the right that consultants like to joke that Karl Rove couldn't win a local race these days. Brandon Darby, the editor of Breitbart Texas, is one of several conservatives who has compared Dunn and Wilks to Russian oligarchs. They go into other communities and unseat people unwilling to do their bidding. You kiss the ring or you're out. Like the Koch brothers, the Mercer family, and other conservative billionaires, Dunn and Wilks want to slash regulations and taxes. Their endgame, however, is more radical, just to limit the government, but also to steer it toward Christian rule. Quote, "It's hard to think of other mega funders in the country as big on the theocratic end of the spectrum," says Peter Montgomery, who oversees the Right-Wing Watch Project at People for the American Way, a progressive advocacy group. Texas, which has few limits on campaign spending, is home to a formidable army of donors. Lately, Dunn has outspent them all. Since 2000, he and his wife have given more than $20 million to candidates and PACs in Texas. Wilks and his wife, who have donated many of the same PACs as Dunn, have given $16 million. Last year, Dunn and his associated entities provided 2/3 of the donations to the state Republican Party. The duo's ambition extend beyond Texas. They've poured millions into, quote, dark money groups, which do not have to disclose contributors. Conservative media juggernauts. Wilks provided $4.7 million in seed capital to the Daily Wire, which hosts the Ben Shapiro Show. And federal races. Dunn's $5 million gift to the Make America Great Again super PAC in December made him one of Donald Trump's top supporters this election season, and he has quietly begun to invest in efforts to influence a possible second Trump administration, including several linked to Project 2025. Rogers believes he provoked the ire of Dunn and Wilks' machine for 2 reasons. He refused to support a school voucher bill that would funnel taxpayer dollars to private schools, and he voted to impeach Attorney General Ken Paxton, one of the machine's most powerful allies. Paxton, who did not respond to requests for comment, was impeached in part for misusing his office to help a friend under federal investigation. Since neither of these issues particularly excited voters, many attacks focused on distorting Rogers' record on immigration instead. When his wife joined a when his wife joined a text group for the spouses of incumbents under siege, they called themselves the Badass Babes. She saw that her husband was not only the only opponent of vouchers who had supposedly given Democrats control of the Texas border. The mailers sent out across the state were identical, with only the names and faces swapped out. Oh, I see. That's the thing. All hat and no cow. No cattle. All hat, no cattle. I know. Imagine what we could actually begin to solve with that much money. The onslaught worked. Rogers lost his seat by 27 percentage points, and more than 24 state house candidates backed by the two billionaires prevailed this spring. These challengers received considerable support from Dunn Wilks-backed allies like Miller, the agricultural commissioner, as well as from GOP heavyweights like Governor Greg Abbott. You cannot overstate the absolute earthquake that was the March 5th primary, says Matt McCowack, a political consultant and chair of the Travis County GOP. The morning after his routing at the polls, Rogers published an editorial in the Weatherford Democrat. Commendably short on self-pity, it argued that the real loser in this race was representative democracy. Quote, history will prove, he wrote, that our current state government is the most corrupt ever and is bought by a few radical dominionist billionaires seeking to destroy public education, privatize our public schools, and create a theocracy. She's tied in with Congo and Venezuela. Oh, interesting. Dunn and Wilks are often described as Christian nationalists, supporters of a political movement that seeks to erode, if not eliminate, the distinction between church and state. Dunn and Wilks, however, do not describe themselves as such. Dunn, for his part, has rejected the term as a made-up label that conflicts with biblical teaching. Instead, like most Christian nationalists, the two men speak about protecting Judeo-Christian values and promoting a biblical worldview. These vague expressions often serve as shorthand for the movement's central mythology, that America, founded as a Christian nation, has lost touch with its religious heritage, which must now be reclaimed. Exactly what this reclamation would look like is up for debate. Some Christian nationalists advocate for more religious iconography in public life, while others harbor grander visions of Christianizing America's political institutions. Those on the extreme end of this spectrum are sometimes called dominionists, after the passage in Genesis in which man is given dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Well, there's that guy. Rapture faster. Which one? That's Tim Dunn. David Brockman, a non-resident scholar at Rice University's Baker Institute for Public Policy, has extensively reviewed the speeches and donations of Dunn and Wilks and believes the two men to be thoroughgoing dominionists. Zachary Maxwell, a Republican activist who knows the Wilks family personally and used to work for Texas Scorecard, a media group associated with Dunn and Wilks, agrees. Quote, they want to get Christians in office to change the ordinances, laws, rules, and regulations to fit the Bible, he told me. According to Texas Monthly, Dunn once told Joe Strauss, the first Jewish speaker of the Texas House since statehood, that only Christians should hold leadership positions. Dunn has denied the remark. Wilks did not respond to a detailed list of questions. In an email, Dunn directed me to his previous public statements. In one of them, he explained that every Christian should avoid the label Christian nationalist because it makes Christian an adjective, in other words, subjugated to something else. A self-proclaimed proponent of limited government, he has also rejected the way in which the label, a smear, suggests that Christians would replace God as king with earthly kings who claimed God's authority. Unlike most billionaires, Dunn and Wilks are also pastors. Friends and critics alike describe the pair as conspicuously down home and devout. They love God, they serve God, said Jerry Maston, an evangelical pastor and Wilks' brother-in-law. Dunn, who is 68, has served on the pulpit team of a non-denominational church in Midland. Wilks, who is 4 years older, practices a form of Christianity that hews closely to the Old Testament at the Assembly of Yahweh, a church his family founded outside of Cisco, a town in central Texas. When I saw him preach there earlier this year, he warned followers that absorption in bounty makes us forgetful of the giver. The two men may differ on certain points of doctrine. Wilks doesn't celebrate Christmas, considering it a pagan holiday, but they share the same vision of a radically transformed America. And that is Wilks. In 2015. Oh, so he's a little bit older. Many of their ideas have been shaped by David Barton, a former teacher in Aledo, Texas. Why have I heard that name? And the closest the Christian nationalist movement has to an in-house intellectual. That's why. Barton has been advancing the same revisionist thesis for decades. The founders intended for the barrier between church and state to protect Christianity from the government, not vice versa. Separation of church and state currently means almost exactly the opposite of what it originally meant, explains the website for wall builders. That's it. That's what it is. Damn. This is Gal Squad. They plant seeds and they don't actually ever really grow big in my brain, but they're still there somewhere. I knew that fucking name. All right. Explains the website for wall builders, Barton's advocacy group, to which Wilks has donated more than $3 million. This view, dismissed by historians but increasingly common among white evangelicals, has been encouraged by recent Supreme Court decisions reinterpreting the Establishment Clause and embraced by prominent Republicans, most notably the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Johnson lauded Barton at a 2021 Wall Builders event, citing his, quote, profound influence on me and my work and my life and everything I do. Wow. Okay. The day after Johnson was elected speaker, Barton said on a podcast, quote, we have some tools at our disposal. No, we have some tools at our disposal. Now we haven't had. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Not really good at reading, I guess. We have some tools at our disposal now we haven't had in a long time. That sounds scary. With its high concentration of movement leaders, conservative pastors, and far-right megadonors, Texas has become the country's foremost laboratory for Christian nationalist policy, and many of its experiments have been bankrolled by Dunn and Wilks. Several of the lawmakers they've funded have introduced bills linked to Project Blitz, a coalition of religious groups, including Barton's Wall Builders, that drafted model legislation to advance Christianity's role in civic life. One bill directs educators to hang posters of the Ten Commandments, quote, in a size and typeface that is legible to a person with average vision from anywhere in the classroom. Another law requires schools to display "In God We Trust" placards. You can look here to see what's coming to other states soon, said Amanda Tyler, the executive director of the Baptist Joint Committee for Religious Liberty, a nonprofit legal advocacy group. After Texas passed a law allowing the work of licensed mental health counselors in public schools to be done by unlicensed chaplains, representatives of God and government, one of the bill's sponsors, called them, a dozen states introduced similar bills. That includes Louisiana, which became the first state to sign a bill into law this June, requiring schools to post the Ten Commandments in classrooms. Trump celebrated on Truth Social, all caps, I love the Ten Commandments in public schools, private schools, and many other places for that matter. It is no accident that Dunn and Wilks have concentrated their energies on infusing Christianity into education. Many far-right Christians trace the country's moral decline to Supreme Court rulings in the 1960s and early 1970s that ended mandated prayer and Bible reading in public schools and segregation. Texas recently proposed an overhauled reading curriculum. That was my addition, sorry. Texas recently proposed an overhauled reading curriculum that strongly emphasizes the Bible, quote, in ways that verge on proselytizing, according to Brockman, the scholar at the Baker Institute. The 74, a nonprofit newsroom, reported that the state's educational consultant contracted with Texas Public Policy Foundation, whose board Dunn has served on since 1998. Wilks and his brother Dan have given around $3 million to PragerU, oh God, a video platform co-founded by Dennis Prager, the conservative radio host. It is not an accredited university. Instead, it provides a free alternative to the dominant left-wing ideology in culture, media, and education. That's a quote. Public school leaders in Arizona, Florida, Louisiana, New Hampshire, Oklahoma, and South Carolina have recently approved Prager-used teaching materials. One lesson shows an animated Frederick Douglass explaining that slavery was a compromise the founding fathers made, quote, to achieve something great. Predictably, these attempts to control what happens in the classroom trigger local culture wars, which in turn lead Christian nationalists to contend that religious values are under siege. Quote, they're going to be things that people yell at, but they will help move the ball down the court, Barton said in a 2016 conference call with state legislators that was later made public. The ultimate aim of these skirmishes is to end up with a religious liberty case before an increasingly conservative Supreme Court. I'm going to read that again. The ultimate aim of these skirmishes is to end up with a religious liberty case before an increasingly conservative Supreme Court. Last year, researchers at the Public Religion Research Institute and Brookings Institution found that more than a half of Republicans support Christian nationalist beliefs, including that being a Christian is an important part of being truly American, that the government should declare the United States a Christian nation, and that God has called Christians to exercise dominion over all areas of American society. They have also found that Christian nationalists were roughly twice as likely as other Americans to believe that political violence may be justified. Those who stormed the Capitol on January 6 with wooden crosses and Christian flags did not see themselves as insurrectionists overturning democracy, but as patriots defending the will of God. They had been spurred on by years of rhetoric that recast political debates as spiritual battles with apocalyptic stakes. In 2016, Trump received a higher share of the white evangelical vote than any presidential candidate since 2004, but the sociologists Andrew Whitehead and Samuel Peria found that Christian nationalist beliefs were an even better predictor of support for his candidacy than a religious affiliation. The slogan, Make America Great Again, can be interpreted, not unreasonably, as a dog whistle to make it Christian again, too. During the same speech in which he boasted that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue without losing voters, Trump warned that Christianity was under tremendous siege and pledged that when he was president, Christianity will have power. This June, he promised Christian Coalition a comeback like just about no other group. And in July, he encouraged Christians to vote, just this time, because in 4 years, you won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. Dunn has placed himself in a favorable position to guide a second Trump administration and transform the nature of the federal government. He helps fund America First Legal, a conservative law firm led by the former Trump senior advisor, Stephen Miller, Nosferatu, that represents itself as the MAGA movement's answer to the ACLU, as well as the Center for Renewing America, a far-right policy group led by the former Trump budget director, Russell Vought. Oh my God, where'd we hear his name already today? According to documents obtained by Politico, the Center for, that's right, the guy in Oklahoma pays him his wife $60,000 a year as a consultant to the Oklahoma State Department of Education. That's what it is. It's all the same people. Well, okay, let's just focus on the positive, all right? It's all the same people. Period. I mean, that's pretty good. I wonder what happens if I do this. That's probably better. Yeah. Okay. There you go, my beautiful Christians. I'm going to take a drink of coffee. Gulp, gulp, gulp. According to documents obtained by Politico, the Center for Renewing America has explicitly listed Christian nationalism as one of its top priorities. You know, this is really I think this is, yeah, okay. I'm not going to say it because I'm going to sound stupid as usual. According to documents obtained, has explicitly listed Christian nationalism as one of its top priorities. Both groups have played a role in shaping Project 2025, an extreme policy agenda published by the Heritage Foundation that proposes consolidating executive power and remaking the federal bureaucracy agency by agency. Quote, 80% of my time is working on the plans of what's necessary to take control of those bureaucracies, Vought said in a video captured in August by undercover reporters for the Center for Climate Reporting. Quote, I want to make sure that we can say we are a Christian nation, Vaught has publicly defended the Christian nationalist label as, quote, a rather benign and useful description for those who believe in both preserving our country's Judeo-Christian heritage and making public policy decisions that are best for this country. Since 2021, Dunn has also been a founding board member of the America First Policy Institute, yet another group assembled by Trump loyalists to prepare for his possible return to the White House. One of its papers, 10 Pillars for Restoring a Nation Under God, discusses how America was founded, quote, founded as a self-governing nation on biblical principles, a favored Dunn talking point. Brooke Rollins, a former domestic policy advisor in the Trump administration, who worked with Dunn at the Texas Public Policy Foundation, recruited him to the Institute. Quote, we wanted to create a national organization similar to what we built in Texas, she told the Wall Street Journal. This is a 100-year play. Yeah, spending millions, also connected to the Vaughts. I don't know. Is this how they spread the message? I don't know. Dunn. Quote, I am by nature a tightwad, Dunn writes in Yellow Balloons, a book he self-published in 2018. Wait, what did you say? Oklahoma was, yeah. It's crazy. His mother once told him that as a child, he needed to be turned upside down to shake a nickel out of his pocket for the church collection basket. The youngest of 4 boys, Dunn grew up modestly in Big Spring, Texas. In the 1980s, he settled with his wife and 6 children in Midland. Oh, Midland, Texas. Oh, yeah. The seat of the Permian Basin, to become the chief financial officer at an oil company before founding his own in 1996. When the British writer Peter Stothard traveled to Midland for the Times of London during the 2004 presidential election, he spoke to Dunn, a thin-faced, blue-jeaned bushbacker who was convinced that his oil has existed for only 4,000 years, the time decreed by Genesis, not 200 million years, as his geologists know. Crown Quest Operating, as Dunn's company is called today, keeps most of its operations within Texas to limit interactions with the federal government. It ranks among the top 10 biggest oil producers in the state and has made Dunn one of the wealthiest people in Texas. But for many years, when it came time to pick up the check at lunch with colleagues, Dunn writes, he found himself with alligator arms. It wasn't until he came to better understand the parable of the unjust steward, a cryptic story from the Gospel of Luke, that he discovered his charitable side. Its moral, according to Dunn, is that when we get to heaven, part of our reward will be invited into people's homes to reciprocate for things we did for them in life. And we're supposed to make that part of our investment calculation. In the meantime, many of Dunn's investments have brought him treasures here on Earth. In 2007, he started his own PAC, Empower Texans, to fight attacks on oil wells financed through investors. Dunn has donated a majority of its funds, lending it the heir of a special interest group of 1. Around a decade later, when one of Dunn's political advisors connected him to Ferris Wilks, Empower Texans became an interest group of 2. I want to make sure I check in. See, what? Okay, hold on. I just have to check what's going on. Is this Devin? No, he was was Devin the COO? Oh wait, what happened? Oh, page unavailable. I think I did something wrong. I think I did something wrong. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Oh, here we go. It's breaking news day. It's breaking news day. It's breaking news day. It's breaking news day. It's breaking Friday. It's breaking Friday. It's breaking Friday. Who resigned? Why aren't you getting any bigger? There we go. Let's see. Who resigned? The chief operating officer of Truth Social's parent company has resigned, and the company must hand over almost 800,000 shares to one of its investors as part of a court ruling, according to a regulatory filing. COO Andrew Northwall resigned from Trump Media and Technology Group Corp. Late last month, according to Securities and Exchange Commission filing, adding that the company plans to, quote, transition his duties internally. No further details were provided about the resignation. He joined the company in December 2021, according to its LinkedIn page. His LinkedIn page. The SEC filing also disclosed that a Delaware court ruled last month that 785,825 shares of Trump Media must be released to ARC Global Investments II. Both parties have been feuding over how many shares ARC was owed after Trump Media combined with Digital World Acquisition Corp. The court said that ARC and Trump Media have the option to file an appeal within 30 days after its final order. Trump Media, blah, 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 runs the, which Trump created. Based in Sarasota, the company has been losing money and struggling to raise revenue. It lost nearly $58.2 million last year while generating only $4.1 million in revenue. Wow. Wowie, wow, wow. Wowie, wow, wow. Let me see how much more of this we have. Wait, I'm on Wilks. Wilks was raised in a goat shed. Wilks was raised in a goat shed. I think this is really long. I might have to break on this. Let's see. What time is it? Yeah, I might have to break on this. Actually, I really want to get through this. I'm going to go ahead and keep reading. I'm going till we go. Let me make sure I have everybody, though. Where'd I go? Oh, man. What'd I do? What did I do? Oh, my God. A lot of pictures of them. They take a lot of pictures of themselves. Do. Wow. Oh, here we go. Wilks was raised on a goat farm. .com. Unfortunately, my lips are dry. I was raised on a goat farm. I'd like to be raised on a goat farm. That would be fun. Okay. Oh, in a goat shed. Okay, never mind. That doesn't sound so fun. Wilks was raised in a goat shed on a homestead just south of Cisco, a town of 3,900 people and more than a dozen churches. He went to work at his father's masonry business, and on weekends he helped his family build their own church, the Assembly of Yahweh. In the 90s, Wilks and his younger brother Dan decided to use their knowledge of stone to prospect for oil in their own backyard. In 2000, the brothers founded FracTech, a fracking services provider, and a decade later, they sold their stake for $3.5 billion. Not long before the deal closed, the brothers established a charitable foundations to fund conservative groups, including Focus on the Family and Heritage Foundation. In 2015, they made their first significant campaign gift, $15 million to a Ted Cruz super PAC connected to David Barton. And the San Antonio Express News said they were gaining a reputation as the Koch brothers of the Christian right. Yee-haw. Howdy ha-ha. Oh, I do love Texas, I must say. Wary of the media spotlight, Dan Wilks made fewer headline-grabbing campaign donations after that. Ferris, however, was only getting started. Though he does not regularly socialize with Dunn, he relies on the same fleet of consultants and synchronizes his donations to many of the same campaigns. By 2018, he'd become the largest donor to Empower Texans after Dunn. At first glance, what's most striking about Dunn and Wilks' political giving, apart from its unprecedented scale, is its low rate of return. For more than a decade, their PACs and the lawmakers they supported won a handful of proxy wars, obstructing legislation, forcing retirements, generating scandals, but they were snubbed by the establishment Republicans who controlled the State House. In 2022, according to the Texas Tribune, 18 out of the 19 candidates backed by the group lost their races. Oh my God. What a terrible investment. Political strategists have attributed this poor showing to the group's uncompromising approach. Luke Messias, a longtime consultant to Dunn and Wilks' backed campaigns, has refused to work with candidates who support exceptions for abortion bans. Messias did not respond to a request for comment. Quote, my job is to communicate a candidate's beliefs to a broader audience, a consultant who worked with Messias on an Empower Texans funded campaign told me. His job is to find people who believe exactly what they believe and try to get them elected. From a financial perspective, Luke is the worst possible investment you can make because he doesn't seem to make decisions based on the facts, polls, or strength of the opposition, but that right there tells you that something about the strength of Tim Dunn's ideology. Loyalty and fidelity are more important to him than short-term outcomes like winning. Dunn and Wilks, however, are focused on the long term. Gerrymandering has meant that most Republicans in Texas only fear for their seat if they're challenged in a primary election, the Texas equivalent of term limits, Dunn has said. The tactical brilliance of Empower Texans has been to transform the political climate of Austin into a perpetual primary season. A dark money subsidiary, Texans for Fiscal Responsibility, warns legislators about how upcoming votes will affect their conservative rankings on its index, while a separate media arm, Texas Scorecard, publishes editorials, podcasts, and documentaries to hound incumbents it disapproves of out of office. Quote, the irony is that most of the incumbents they attack agree with them on 95% of the issues. John Taylor, a political scientist at the University of Texas at San Antonio, said of Dunn and Wilks. I'm not sure how to explain the purity test they demand, except that it comes down to wanting people that they can completely control. Some donors might hesitate to back a losing candidate, but Dunn and Wilks PACs often resurrect their challengers as though they are fighters in an arcade game. They find candidates with an exceptionally high pain tolerance, said a Texas House staff member who has worked for an incumbent opposed by Empower Texans. They might not beat you on the first go, but they slowly chip away at your support and keep you under a microscope by hammering you with the same guy 52 weeks a year. Shelley Luther, a beautician who was jailed for refusing to close her hair salon in Dallas during the pandemic, won the primary for a House seat in this March after 2 failed campaigns supported by Dunn and Wilks. For Brian Slatton, a former youth pastor and Empower Texans-backed candidate, the third time was the charm, though he was later unanimously expelled from the House after an internal investigation found that he got a 19-year-old aide drunk and had had sex with her. Well, that's rape, but okay. The political muscle of Christian nationalism is driving a growing share of attacks on Republicans across the country. Since 2010, a historically high number of Republicans have been defeated by primary challengers in the most evangelical House districts, according to an analysis posted on Substack by Michael Podhorzer. On Substack by Michael Podhorzer, a senior fellow at the Center for American Progress. The former Texas Governor Rick Perry recently expressed his concerns about the internecine warfare consuming the state party. Quote, if we continue down this path, pointing our guns inside the tent, he told the Texas Tribune earlier this year, that is the definition of suicide. David Pepper, the author of Laboratories of Autocracy, A Wake-Up Call from Behind the Lines, and the former chair of the Ohio Democratic Party, calls this trend the Texas lesson. Quote, it's a tragic case study in how state houses have flipped from serving the public interest to serving the far-right interest of private donors, he told me. These billionaires have been relentless and systematic about punishing moderates. Pepper paused and corrected himself. Actually, I wouldn't even call these lawmakers moderate. They are simply officials who maybe, on one occasion, will stand up for the best interest of their district. And that's that's Rogers. Wait, who's he? Can't remember. Oh, he's the guy that I think they beat. Not long after he arrived in Austin at the start of his first term, Glenn Rogers began to sort his colleagues into categories. There was a close-knit contingent of unabashed loyalists who took most of their money from Empower Texans and its spinoffs. There were legislators who may or may not have taken some money from Dunn and Wilks, but who followed most of their agenda out of fear of facing a primary challenger. And there were representatives who reliably voted for the interests of their district, though this last category, Rogers conceded, was largely aspirational. When Dunn and Wilks win, they win, Rogers told me, and when they lose, they still win because the people left in office are afraid to disagree with them. You can't be in politics long without being influenced by them in one way or another. That influence, Rogers soon realized, extended well beyond the House. In the 2022 gubernatorial primary, Dunn and Wilks backed Don Huffines, a real estate investor and former state senator who ran to the right of Abbott, through a new PAC dubbed Defend Texas Liberty. Huffines called, I'm sorry, I'm not saying his name right, called for sending troops to the border, abolishing property taxes, and passing a school voucher program. Abbott handily won the primary, but he also started to sound a little more like Huffines, particularly when it came to private school vouchers. Abbott's newfound ardor for vouchers was striking. He asked faith leaders to go to the pulpit for the measure and called 4 special sessions of the legislature in an attempt to rally the House into passing it. The vouchers vouchers undermine church-state separation while also draining resources from public schools has made them appealing to both free market fundamentalists and far-right Christians. Yet vouchers are unpopular in rural districts across Texas where Friday night football games are sacrosanct and private schools are scarce. When Abbott failed to corral the votes he needed, he began to vigorously campaign against the holdouts, including Rogers. Quote, how did someone who pitched himself as a governor committed to public education end up leading the charge to destroy public schools? Asked James Tallarico, a Democratic member of the House and former public school teacher. Follow the money. Abbott's motivations have remained a subject of speculation in Austin, but Tallarico suggested that the governor started to push for vouchers in earnest because he was shut out by Dunn Wilks. Last December, Abbott intensified his push after receiving $6 million from Jeff Yass, a pro-voucher billionaire in Pennsylvania, to spend in this year's primaries. There he is. In an opinion essay on the Midland Reporter Telegram, Dunn wrote that he is basically uninvolved with the voucher movement, but candidates he and Wilks backed have repeatedly testified in support of vouchers. Texans for Fiscal Responsibility has given high marks to those who support the measure, and the Texas Public Policy Foundation, where Dunn has long served on the board, joined Abbott on a tour of private Christian schools across the state. As the voucher fight escalated, the House decided to bring impeachment charges against Attorney General Paxton, claiming, among other charges, that he had abused public trust and committed bribery. Paxton, one of the biggest recipients of Dunn Wilks' largesse, had refused to defend the Texas Ethics Commission against lawsuits filed by Empower Texans in an effort to strip the campaign finance watchdog agency of its powers. The Dunn Wilks political machine seemed to view the impeachment as an existential threat. In May 2023, Jonathan Strickland, a political advisor to Dunn Wilks and the president of their new PAC, Defend Texas Liberty, wrote on X that a vote to impeach Paxton was a decision to have a primary. In June, Defend Texas Liberty paid for a billboard in Rogers District attacking him for joining, quote, 61 Democrats to impeach Ken Paxton, without mentioning that in doing so, Rogers had also joined the majority of Republicans. Glenn wants to impeach Ken Paxton. I can't wait till all of Ken Paxton's shit comes out. That same month, Defend Texas Liberty contributed to $3 million to Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor and a former conservative talk show host who's an idiot. I remember watching Paxton's impeachment, and he presided, and it was so stupid. Shortly before he was set to preside over the impeachment trial in the Senate, Patrick did not respond to requests for comment, but has denied that the donation influenced his impartiality at the trial, during which Paxton was acquitted on all 16 articles. That's right. Texas Monthly calculated that the well-timed gift from Defend Texas Liberty was 30 times more than what the group gave Patrick when he ran for re-election in 2022. Hours after the donation was made public in a campaign finance report, Strickland, the political advisor, wrote on X, "This is just the beginning. Wait till you see the next report. We will never stop, ever." He spoke too soon. And last October, the Texas Tribune reported that Strickland met for hours with Nick Fuentes, one of the country's most prominent white supremacists, at an office park near Fort Worth owned by Wilks Development, the family's real estate company. A Holocaust denier and anti-Semite, Fuentes has popularized the idea of an imminent white genocide, a fear that has been used as a justification by several mass shooters, including one who killed 23 people at a Walmart in El Paso in 2019. Defend Texas Liberty replaced Strickland and released a terse statement opposing Fuentes' incendiary views. Strickland did not respond to requests for comment. After the Tribune's reporting prompted a rare bipartisan outcry, Dunn Wilks phased out Defend Texas Liberty and poured $6.8 million into a new vehicle, Texans United for a Conservative Majority, or TUCM. I mean, TUCM. I'm not making it up. It's right there on the screen. Texans United for a Conservative Majority, aka Tuckum. The rebranded PAC has not been shy about communicating its vision. Its new logo replaces the Goddess of Liberty statue that crowns the top of Austin's Capitol with a cross. We have a three-party system in Texas, and they all loathe each other, Vinnie Minchillo, a Republican-aligned consultant in Plano, said. You have the Democrats, the more traditional moderate Republicans, and the official state GOP, a dysfunctional organization, which has been pretty much completely overtaken by the Dunn Wilks side of things. Once ridiculed as unserious fanatics by the conservative establishment, Dunn and Wilks are now its kingmakers. Well, money will do that. Nowhere was this more evident than at the Texas Republican Convention in San Antonio in May. In the exhibit hall, there were plenty of generic Republican fare, gold standard absolutists, Patriot Mobile vendors, merch stores hawking sweatshirts printed with "Jesus was accused of insurrection too," but many booths were linked to the Dunn Wilks universe. Wilks Development co-sponsored the weekend, and the Dunn booth was selling The American Story, a 2-volume revisionist history that Barton co-wrote with his son. State Senator Angela Paxton, the Attorney General's wife, spoke on a panel dedicated to, quote, upholding our Judeo-Christian heritage and values. On a prominent stage erected by Texas Scorecard, lawmakers talked up the contract with Texas, an open letter that began to circulate in the weeks before the convention. It asked for all GOP legislative priorities to receive a floor vote before any Democratic bill and for the removal of all Democratic committee chairs. No one knew for sure who was behind the letter, which would significantly curb the influence of a party that holds 42% of seats in the House, but at least 21 of its 23 signatories had taken money from Wilks and Dunn entities. One morning, I ran into Mark McCaig, the publisher of the Texas Voice, a conservative political blog. In the main lobby, where children wearing bright yellow sandwich boards printed with the phrase, "Abolish Abortion," had been serving as an unofficial welcome party. McCaig has a close-cropped beard and a wonkish demeanor. The previous day, the general counsel of the Texas Republican Party posted a photo of McCaig chatting with a Texas Tribune journalist on Facebook. Her caption denounced McCaig as a plague and the Tribune journalist as a pagan reporter. McCaig told me he didn't mind committing the sacrilege of talking to other reporters, though he confessed that he often had trouble articulating Dunn and Wilks' goals when asked. They say they want to make things even more conservative, he observed, but I don't know what else is left to accomplish socially. Buoyed by the MAGA wave, the legislature has passed bills, permitless carry laws, abortion bans, LGBTQ plus restrictions, border militarization, that would have seemed far-fetched just a few years earlier. A lot of pro-life leaders in the state don't want to give women the death penalty, McCaig continued. You start to wonder what their true agenda is, and I think it's power. The most far-reaching of these efforts is to consolidate power may be the Convention of States project. Oh, highly controversial effort, partly funded by Dunn. That makes sense. It represents one of the best hopes for Christian nationalists among other interested parties who want to transform the laws of the land in one fell swoop. When we started the Convention of States, and I was there at the beginning, I knew we had to have a spiritual revival, a great awakening, and a political restoration for our country to come back to its roots, Dunn said at a 2019 summit for the group where he spoke alongside Barton. What I did not expect is that the Convention of States would be an organization that would trigger that great awakening. The Convention of States project takes its cue from Article 5 of the Constitution, which proposes 2 paths for constitutional amendments. The familiar path, 2/3 vote in each chamber of Congress to be ratified by 3/4 of states, has been deployed successfully 27 times. The other path, which involves 2/3 of the states passing resolutions to call for a constitutional convention, is rarely discussed and has never been used. One afternoon in San Antonio, Mark Meckler, the president of the Convention of States and one of Dunn's close friends, pitched a packed room of delegates on this second path. Wearing a blue trucker cap printed with a COS logo, he mocked the group's critics, which included, quote, every other baby-killing, America-hating Marxist organization in the country, as well as the John Birch Society. Thank God these people were not in the Alamo, Meckler said, because we wouldn't remember the Alamo because there would have been no Alamo because all of those people would have just run away. Ooh, I have bad news for him. Does anyone want to tell him? Okay, never mind. Meckler, who lives in a home that Dunn transferred to him near Austin, is a deaf salesman. He said he regularly hears from people who find the prospect of a convention frightening. During his lecture, he sought to assuage those fears, casting the prospect of a constitutional convention as a humdrum exercise that would bore even its own attendees. What's going to happen at a convention? Meckler said, pausing for dramatic effect. Are you guys scared? I've never been to a meeting where I was afraid of people making suggestions. Yet nothing in Article 5 limits the scope of the laws that might be changed. It's a gamble, but if it pays off, it would be the biggest opportunity ever for billionaires to transform the government, Montgomery, the researcher of the religious right, said. The Mercer family and Koch-funded groups have also backed the effort. The Convention of States says that 19 states have passed its resolutions. To win over the remaining 15, you need 34 to hold a Convention of States. To win over the remaining 15, the group has started to back primary challengers to Republicans who oppose them in states across the country. During a 2018 appearance on Fox, Meckler admitted that the critics of the movement were getting at something truthful when they complained that the convention was, quote, intended to reverse 115 years of progressivism, and we say, yes, it is. This spring, Rogers took me on a tour of his ranch, a 3,000-acre property that abuts the Brazos River. Our forefathers intended for ranchers and farmers to be able to serve in the capital, he told me as we cut through the tall grass. Rogers insisted to me that he was better off working with his land because it allowed him to spend more time with his grandchildren. But as the afternoon turned to evening and he began to play the consolatory voicemail messages he had received from constituents and colleagues, it was evident that the loss still rankled. I've been coming up with a short list of anyone who is willing. I think my chat is stuck here. My chat got a little baby stuck. Oh, it really got stuck. Damn. Okay, I'll come to you in just a second. I've been coming up with a short list of people interested in running for office, he said, but I've yet to find anyone who's willing to go through what I did without billionaire support. Dunn's wealth is only growing. Last December, he signed an agreement to sell his oil company to Occidental Petroleum in a deal valued at $12.4 billion. 17 days later, he made the $5 million contribution to a Trump PAC. Brad Parscale. I have a collage I made about Brad Parscale. Trump's. I'll put it on the Twitter. Brad Parscale, Trump's 2016 digital campaign manager, recently bought a modern farm-style house around the corner from Dunn's compound in Midland. Wow. Dunn has poured millions into a new effort led by Parscale to use AI to target voters. Excuse me now? We're going to just bookmark that one. Hold on. Let's just bookmark that one. Okay. We won't be able to read that today because I have to go. But we're going to read this. Before I left, Rogers brought out a little-known book first published in 1998 called Confrontational Politics. Its author, H.L. Richardson, was a Republican state senator in California who was known for ruthlessly campaigning against other Republicans in the 70s and 80s. I know. Oh, I have such a good collage of him, of that arrest. The text has been recommended to Rogers by someone who knew that Dunn encouraged his associates to study it, and the tactics deployed against Rogers appeared to have been appeared to be lifted directly from its pages. Richardson advised conservatives to cultivate single-issue groups, to joyfully punish the adversaries, and to keep in mind a vital principle. The route to political domination starts at the local level. Control the bottom, he wrote, and one day you control the top. This is what Steve Bannon's approach has been too, by the way, encouraging local precinct action. One day the man you elected to city council becomes the state senator and then moves to Congress and talks to the president on your behalf. Or if you really become effective, I keep editorializing. I don't mean to. If you really become effective, one day the phone rings and you're asked to come to Washington to advise the president. Somebody is leveraging the president at this very moment. Why not you? That's really good. That's really good. I don't think I have it on this. So last week when my computer did the blue screen, or it was 2 weeks ago, when I had that problem last Friday, I think it was. The solution was that I had to wipe the hard drive and factory reset the computer, the laptop. So it erased it, and I'm going to tell you right now, Bobo spent hours trying to figure out if we could do it and preserve what was on the disk, because you couldn't even get to, it was blue. You couldn't get to the desktop or anything to back up anything. So all my photos that I had put on this computer, which is not a big tragedy. I mean, I'll figure out what to do, are not here. And all my programs fucked off, like, anyway. It's not been a great couple weeks, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. I mean, it will be fine, but a little rough. But that was really a good article. Wow. Texas Public, here we go. Gal has a lot of information about this, I would imagine. Or I know, actually. Texas Public Policy Foundation was the co-author of the 79 Days War Game Plan with Claremont Institute Kevin Roberts, who was the president of the Texas Public Policy Institute before Heritage. Gal, it's all the same people. It is all the same people. David Pepper has a great thread on rigged state houses. Oh, interesting. I don't know how hundreds of thousands of dollars got in my church bathroom wall. Ah, that's right. I forgot about that. It's always the same people. All right. Well, I'm going to hit it out. The dog has not woken up yet, so I got to check and make sure he's okay and take him out. But thank you. Oh, my gosh. What an informative morning. Wow, I love these. God, I love these. I love Wake and Bake so much. I really do. Wait, we got to get rid of this so you can see the fire. Oh, man, no cats. And the money. The money. The billions. It's all that. It's all the bigoted Christo-fascists. Thank you. And it's all the Christo-fascist, and it's all the and it's all the tech bros. It's all the people who don't want to be taxed or regulated. That's it. Oil. That's it. They don't want to invest in new technologies because they already are making enough money on their old technology. So why would they want to invest in new technology? Because they don't work for the interest of the country to grow us as a strong economy. Think about it. Eat the rich. No. Eat the rich. Telling you. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I really, really, truly appreciate it. And I think it was some really good references from people. Gal, thank you for sharing the links that you share. We didn't go over your daily dose, but we'll catch up on ourselves as we go. We're trying to hit the rhythm of the show. But I do want to bring up 5GW puts out a daily dose every day, which I will reshare. I'll share it. So do take a look at that. I'll probably link that actually in this broadcast too. So in the description, that'll be done in a couple hours. All right. Have a great, great, wonderful day. Hi, Oren. Bye, babes. Everyone, have a really good Friday. I'll see you tomorrow night for the lounge for Trivia Apocalypse. That's what it's going to be called, Trivia Apocalypse.